Previously, we survived a trap set by a past incarnation, visited the brothel of slaking intellectual lusts, and held conversations with Fall from Grace, Lewis, and various other residents, Juliet, Vivian, and Ninny, Nine Eyes, to unravel the mysteries of the establishment.
Introducing
Primordius Gamer.
Planescape Torment Enhanced Edition Playthrough Pot 17.
Okay, right now we're in the brothel. We're trying to talk to all of the individuals in it, because apparently they might trigger some memories or give us information. That said, I just looked at my bag and realized Ingress Teeth. I was trying to remember where that I got those, and then I remembered, but also crushing 1 to 16, speed, weight, fists, only usable by Morte. This is a handful of Ingress's living teeth. Apparently, they didn't want to go with her back through the portal to her home plane. They rattle amongst themselves whenever they are held close together. They remind you of a bunch of creepy ivory hopping bugs. To change the bone teeth to different types like use, the teeth may gain new options and abilities as Morte goes up in levels. I'm gonna go throw this at Morte and Ingress Teeth. You examine Ingress Teeth, you can't shake their resembling to iron bugs, blah blah blah. You get the feeling that they are looking at you expectantly. Waiting some command. I want you to do piercing damage. I want you to become a magical weapon. Ooh. The teeth rattle about wildly, then suddenly settle down. After a brief moment, they begin to emit a soft, magical glow. That is amazing. They still got crushing, enhance, special +1 to crushing. That is awesome.
Hey, come on.
Piercing. Okay, and
Hey,
that's sweet. Okay, so we got upgrade for Morte. I could sell whenever. Okay, so into the next room. Ecco. This striking young woman has the skin color of a burnished copper, a translucent white dress held particularly curiously by golden clasps. It is draped carefully over her shapely form. Greetings. The woman nods, smiles briefly. The scent of her hair, sweetly perfumed, fills your nostrils. Had some questions. She nods. Who are you? Can you tell me about this place? Do you? We'll start with that. She smiles, curtsies, but offers no response. Can you speak? She shakes her head, smiles sadly at you.
Updated my journal.
I love this chick already. Can you write then, or pantomime? She pouts, shakes her head. May I ask you why you can't communicate? Well, considering it's a yes or no, the answer's probably a no. She eyes softly and nods. Actually, let me ask you about something else. She nods. May I ask why you can't communicate? Why are you... Who are you? Can you tell me about this place? She smiles, but offers no. Shrugging, gives you an apologetic look. Let me ask you then. Yeah, I don't think we're getting... Her eyes flash. She smiles. She nods at you. What? What do you know of her?
Updated my journal.
She simply looks at you. May I ask? Maybe she's the reason behind her not being able to communicate. Okay. Well. Interesting. I don't know what happened, but
Why not?
I think I just healed like 24 life. Is there a way for me to check that? Journals. Yeah. Not much in there. Goldie ring. I guess I just let it be known after.
Got it.
Yeah. An empty room. Okay, maybe. Not entirely empty. Let's see what this does. Downstairs. We'll check it after we've talked to everyone. Okay. Well, found the person that might have caused it. Squinting at the figure behind the patrician, you can barely make out a shapely female form in the darkness. She turns to you, but you can see nothing of her face. Greetings. The figure answers in a voice that is low and deadly, like a steel dagger drawn across stone. Yes, come speak with Marissa. Have you quite rude of you to enter a darkened room, storming behind my partition like so? Rude, foolhardy. You can hear a faint whispering sound like a silent breeze or the hissing of serpents. Morte whispers quietly. Whew, creepy chick. My apologies, my lady. I wasn't sure if someone was here. I had some questions, my lady. The woman gives a slight but would seem there is someone in this room, wouldn't it? Shall you be on your way then? Not just yet. I had some questions. Ask. Why do you remain behind the screen? Why is it so dark in here? Why are you doing in here? What are you doing? Can you tell me about this place? What can you tell me about the silent? Okay. Okay. I was told you were... Oh, Ecco. That's a good question. I were told you were sneaking away from Vivian's chambers or something. Is that connected with her missing scent somehow? I'm trying to find Vivian's seat. Do you know? And okay. We'll start with this. It is your wish that I step away from the partition into some patch of light and speak to you face to face? Marissa laughs, and there is the sound of scales sliding on scales. Nay, I think not. The darkness suits me, and doubtless suits you as well. Why is it that the dark is here? Please come into the light. To prevent any unwanted and embarrassing casualties. Now that it is that you want. She is a Medusa. That's my guess. I want you to come into the light. Nay, and the addition of please will not serve to persuade me. Now, what do you want? Surely you do not come all this way to see me. I do want to see what you look like. You have no such want. Oh, I do. What do you think? What do you look like? The darkness hides us both. Let's make it a game. I'm frightfully bored. Let me guess. Are you a human male? I think so. No games, Yes, I think so. You think so? How could it not know? It's kind of complicated. I really have no sure idea what I am. It's kind of Indeed, it must be too great for a mere mind such as mine to grasp. I really have no sure idea what I am. Truly, that's almost interesting. There's the sound of hissing in the darkness. Describe yourself for me. Truth, I'm tall, muscular, horribly scarred. I'm tall with an athletic build, very handsome. You first, Marissa. Indeed. She pauses for a moment. How are you so horribly scarred? Wait, never mind. I do not wish to know. Describe yourself for me. She describes herself as a sharply pale-skinned, beautiful woman with a forked tongue, hair made of wreathing aspects, and glowing eyes, which you assume she must be keeping shut. Are you a fiend? You sound very exotic looking, Marissa.
Updated my journal.
Marissa laughs slightly. The sound accompanied by a slight hissing. Oh, I am. I am. And my merest glance turns living things to stone. From beings of flesh to stationary with only the bat of an eyelash. Living things to stone. Could you turn, say, a limb into a stone? That must be inconvenient at times. Huh? I suppose I could, had you a limb, and were I inclined to do so, I might be so inclined, and my crimson veil, but I do not know where it has gone. Have you seen it, perchance? No. What's it for? Is it just a normal veil? No, I've got some questions. Marissa sighs quietly. Not quite. It aids me in communication. Face-to-face communication, that is. Why do you need to hide your face? Enough with these assigned questions. How tiresome, annoying you are. Now, what do you want? I just said some questions. I think we already asked that. What are you doing in here? Sitting here with my thoughts, listening to your voices. You voice yours. The silence of both of them. Internal, then figurative, is deafening. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. I think not. You would find them most unflattering at this moment. What is it you want? Can you tell me about this place? Could you turn my lemon into a... I suppose I could. Yeah, okay.
Updated my journal.
Yes, Ecco. I knew another Ecco once, though her name was written differently. I know nothing of this gal, though. Ask Dolora of her. She made friends of an old lover of Ecco's, I have heard. Okay. Let's... No, I'm not a clue. No, do you? You hear an annoyed sigh from out of the darkness. Go ask Yves. She collects many tales. Can probably tell you something of Yves. I had other questions. I don't know if she'll like this one too much.
Updated my journal.
Marissa is nothing, though an angry hissing issue from the darkness around her. Yes, I've been known to creep into Vivian's chambers for some of her perfumes, though I doubt you'll meet another here who hasn't. If you're implying that I've got her personal scent, well, feel free to sniff around. You'll not find it on me, or in my chambers, I assure you. Perhaps whoever took my crimson veil took Vivian's scent as well. Yeah. Well. Huh? Okay. So that's 2 items missing. We need to talk to What's-Her-Face to find out what Ecco's issue is. My guess is some kind of curse. I think it's Dorian. Oh. Okay. Wait, is that? Nope, that's Vivian. What's going on here? Don't come back. What? Okay. The wild-looking tiefling girl meets your gaze with an angry scrawl. Her tattooed body is particularly covered by only a narrow leather thong, a black cloth breastplate, and armed shoulders pads that appear to serve more as decorative rather than actual protection. Her spiked hair, as well as the thin fur that covers her goat-like legs, is brassily white, and numerous silver rings dangle from her ears, nostrils, lips, and brow. She wears a leather collar around her throat with inscription Kimasxi Addertongue, greetings. Kimmy bares her teeth at you. And just what are you looking at, you banged up sod? My friend thought you were attractive, but whew, was he ever horribly mistaken. Morty. She sneers at Morty, then looks below him, where a body would normally be. Sharp tongue for a skinless deader. That's enough, you two. Sure, Chief. Whatever. What a witch, huh? Mort then waggles his eyebrows. I like that. I'm sure you do, Mort. Harry. But I need to talk to her. The tiefling rolls her eyes. And what makes you think I care? Why don't you lick my backside? My tongue's not wide enough, and I don't like hair in my mouth. Well, you seem to like the taste of offal in your mouth, you dung-breath cretin. Only because it's like kissing you, you mangy stink pot. Kiss me, she makes a retching sound. I'd rather kiss a bloody mass of filling than lay my lips on you. No thanks. Don't thank me. Thank the powers someone actually wants to kiss you. Shay looks a loss for something to say for an instant. A smile threatens to crack the glimpses mass of her face. Then she becomes more of a basilisk than ever. All right, what do you want of me? Questions answered. She looks annoyed. Fine, whatever. Asked. Who are you? What are you doing? Say, can you teach Morty here to be more... What? More abusive? I wonder if that's like an increase in damage. Or is it just... That might be interesting. What can you tell me about the silent prostitute? I'm trying to find Vivian's scent. Do you know where it might be? I'm trying to find Marissa's Crimson Veil. Do you know where it might be? Who are you? My name? Uninterested. I can guess yours, though. Scrub bunch. Get out of here before I put a fire under your house. I have other questions. Wait, what was that? I'll assume it's Kimasxi, like it says on the collar, then. Farewell. What are you doing here? Not you, that's for certain. She smirks at you. I'm contemplating the best way to tell you to bike off next. We'll get to that. What, that Ecco chick? Don't you know anything about her? Don't talk to the girl. I mean, why? Not like she can talk back. Ask Frigid Dolora about her. I think I saw her playing Go with an old crush of Echo's back from when she could talk. Try the hive gutter, or perhaps that's just a similar aroma. To be serious, though, Marissa stole it. Marissa, are you sure? No, but I'm hoping you'll go stomping into her room and upset her enough to do something awful to you. Have another question. She smirks. Up your arse, perhaps. Hells, I don't know. Kimmer smooths back her hair, which instantly springs back into a spiky mess. What would I know about her? I look like a scholar or something to you? Go ask someone who more learned. Or Yves. She'll probably have at least one story about her in that pile of tales she carries about in her bone box. Oh, and squat on the Hellbert while you're in it. While you're at it. Okay, and this is going to be interesting. She raises an eyebrow. Now, that's an unusual request. I don't know. It seems pretty foul-mouthed already. He's pretty foul-mouthed. He's pretty foul-mouthed. Kimasxi bladder dong, and you scuffy goat damned harlot. You wish you had legs like mine, you pitiful wretch of a bone box. I can walk, run, and dance. What can you do? Bob around wishing you had a pair of goats or otherwise? The two of them lay into one another, exchanging barbed, blissful insults and clashes with razor-edged tongue. Wait for it to end. At the last of the two stop their bickering and eerie silence settling over them as they eye one another hatefully. Finally, the tiefling makes a grudging admission to Morte. You're not bad. Really, not at all. What did I do? Didn't mean to do that. Okay. At last, the two, better than you, perhaps. Morty waggles his eyebrows at her. Eh? He narrows her eyes at more. Don't push it, skull.
New taunts, all right.
I won't, tiefling. I will admit I might have learned a thing or two, though. Good thinking, Chief. Sure thing, Mort. Oh, God. Just turns to you. So, was that all you wanted? I'm not spending any more time near you than I have to. Actually, I had some other question. I feel the same way, Farrell. Yep, that was interesting. Found Darla. The dark-haired, pale-skinned woman has a cultured, refined look about her. As she turns to you, you note that her eyes, which you had previously thought to be gray, are the color of brushed steel. The woman's voice is soft and calm and without inflection. It has a certain far-away quality, as if someone not attracted to it, somehow not attached to it. Greetings. I am called Darla. May I serve you somehow? In what ways can you serve me, Darla? Not really, but I had some questions. She blinks her eyes, then touches her hand to her heart, bowing her head slightly. I am able to debate any scholarly or academic matter quite proficiently, if that is your wish. I am also well versed in various games of strategy, should you wish to play something, though I have the materials for few such games here. I was hoping for something of a more physical nature. Debate, you say? Could we play a game then? Actually, I would just ask you a few questions. Dolora nods. That is correct. I am neither a tome nor a tutor. I have no desire to educate my patron. Should you have a matter to discuss, however, the 15 factions and their effects on Sigilian politics, the most effective battle stratagems for warring in Arcarium, the meaning of existence itself, I would be most pleased to choose a counterpoint and engage you in debate. Choose a topic, see if you can best her. How can we play a game then? Could we play? Let's. You choose a topic and begin. The debate lasts a long time as the two of you exchange points and counterpoints, each attempting to methodically undermine the other's position. As you speak, a strange feeling begins to come over you. A memory trying to surface. Allow the memory to surface. Memories of Great Hall began and to form in your mind. A vast place full of well-dressed elites. A formal ball was taking place. Before you was a small, impeccably dressed fellow who wore a golden medallion. It was emblazoned with a symbol you dimly recognized as the sign of one. The two of you stood in a circle, onlooking who've gathered to listen to your debate. Continue the memory. But, that's impossible, the man was saying, looking perplexed. Oh, but it is, you recall yourself replying. I've made several inarguable points and given you a number of examples. You simply don't exist. But you can't. Were I to accept that, I continue the memory. Yes, you'd cease to exist. And without a flash of light or puff of smoke, with no fanfare of any sort, the man was simply gone. Continue the memory. The onlookers old and head. Some clapped. You remember giving a flourishing bow, walking away, a small, satisfied smile upon your lips. You suddenly realize Marissa is watching you closely. Are you feeling well? We might finish our discussion at another time, should you like. No, let's continue the debate. As hard-pressed as you are to beat Dolora's infallible sense of logic, you eventually win out. Wait, what? You eventually win out. She merely nods in approval. You are a most skilled debater. There is no denying. I do feel, though, that I had time to perform some research you might not have bested me. Thanks. Perhaps not. I consider that an unfair advantage, though. Dolora nods. If you would like, we can debate once more upon the same topic. I could argue your position this time, should you desire it. Wait, are you always so ruthless in debates? Not right now, thanks. Could we play a game, though? Dolora nods. Mistress Grace instructed me to show no mercy, for another of her students always allows a patron to win. After a lengthy debate, it was Mistress Grace's desire that I provide a different sort of experience for the clientele. I see. Could we play a game now? Of course. Is there anything in particular you wish to play? No, I don't really remember any games. Actually, let me ask you some questions instead. Here then, allow me to show you one. Dolora brings out a thin, decorated box, which unfolds into a small board marked with a grid. The contents of the box prove to be the number of polished stone chips, half of them black, half of them white. This game goes by the many names. Shall I explain the rules to you? Yes, please. Dolora explains to you the rules of the game, how the chips are moved, how one's opponent. It seems quite somehow faintly familiar to you. The rules are simple, yes, but a great deal of complexity lies within the game itself. It takes a great deal of time to master. Shall we play? Yes, let's play. As you play, you continue to realize that you've done so before. You recall various ploys and stratagems that have won you previous games. You employ every trick you know to beat her. Suddenly, a strange feeling comes over you, a memory trying to surface. Allow the memory to surface. Memories of a smoke-filled field of battle begin to fill your mind. Atop a great hill overlooking the fighting, you sat mounted upon a massive four-legged beast. The braying horns carried your orders to the troops below. Continue the memory. Even as you watched, your forces divided, fleeing left and right as the foreign army fought its way up the hill to slay the enemy lord. You. The fools you had thought, lips curling into a wicked smile. My knight shall charge down the hillside and stop their advance. And in an instant, and at that very moment, my retreating footmen will fall in to crush their flank. Ah, yes, another victory soon to be mine. You suddenly realize Dolora is watching you intently. Are you feeling well? We might take up the game another day if you wish. No, let's continue the game. Dolora plays excellently, counteracting all but your most crafty moves, but eventually your feints and calculating maneuvers win over her well-crafted strategies. She nods approvingly as she begins to put the game away. You are a fine player, perhaps a master. I commend you for your skill. Thanks, but do you always play so mercilessly? You mentioned debating before? Okay. Dolora, Grace instructed me to not hold nothing back. For another of her students plays so that her opponent will always just manage a win. It was Mistress Grace's desire that I provide a different sort of experience, a true challenge, rather than something that might be more pleasing to one's ego. I see. Okay. Dora cast her eyes to the floor with a sound that might be a sad sigh. I'm willing to serve you as a patron, but have no wish to answer other questions at this time. My apologies, but I fear you shall simply have to bear with that for the time being. What's wrong? Anything I can help with? I'll speak with you another time.
Updated my journal.
She looks up at you from the floor into your eyes. Once more, you're struck by the pale smoothness of her skin, the cold depths of her silvery eyes. No, I fear not. My troubles are a matter of the heart. In time, I think all things shall be resolved. Are you certain there's nothing I can do? Certain? Dora pauses as if thinking. No, I'm not. My first love, Merryman, possesses still the keys to my heart. So long as he has them, I shan't be free to love another. This is the cause of my melancholy. Why don't you seek him out? Speak with him. Then I'll find the Merryman and speak to him on your behalf. You're lucky. I can find for a price. Merryman for a price. Dolora shakes her head. I may not leave this place. The reasons why are deeply personal, and not to be shared with strangers, even ones who might bestow a kindness upon me. But suffice to say that I cannot seek out Merryman myself. Then I'll find him on your behalf.
Updated my journal.
Dolora nods, the slightest hint of a smile appearing on her lips. She bows her head. Were you to find and speak with Merryman, I would be most grateful. He is a member of the Society of Sensations, so you may wish to ask for him at the Civic Fest Hall. I'll return when I find him.
I feel stronger.
I wonder why. Like 10,000 experience? Okay. Spells, memorize abilities have increased. 0 characteristic points gained. 1 hit point gained. And 10, 9, 11, 9. Spell 10. Okay. Points left. Well. So there's this one, and I assume one in here. Yves the Tale-Chaser. Okay. This fetching young woman has a faraway look in her soft sea green eyes. Greetings. Greetings, I am Yves the Tale-Chaser. What a coincidence. I, too, chase tales. Yves continues unperturbed. Have you come to trade tales? I'd like to trade tales. Yves nods. I would like that very much, yes. Tell her the tale of your waking up in the mortuary. Alleyway signs. Reekwick's curse. I wonder if it just keeps stacking. That'd be cool. Just keep coming back, see what she tells me more. I'll have to remember that. Yves leans forward as you tell the tale of your waking in the dustman's mortuary. She seems to devour your every word as you finish. She smiles at you. I shall remember this tale. I, too, will tell a tale of the dustman. Chapters of dust. Go on. Ooh. There are chapters in the Dead Book, the massive tome which the dustmen keep that record the passing of all that lives in the eternal boundary. In this book, there are chapters that are naught but dust. It is believed that the names therein are lost souls who cannot die, but must suffer life eternally until history itself dies, grants them the release. I have another tale to share with you. Okay, cool. That'll help. You tell the tale of the lingers. You leans forward as you tell the tale, Lily giving birth. She seems to devour every word. As you finish, she smiles at you. I shall remember this tale, and now I have one for you. Before I begin, I must ask, do you know what a Mordrin is? No. Mordrins are creatures of total law, almost more machinery than living thing. Machinery. There are many different sorts of Mordrin, but all have their place in a very rigid, carefully organized hierarchy. So dedicated are they to this system that they cannot communicate with or even consider the existence of Mordrins who are not their immediate superior or inferiors. Understand now? Then I shall tell you the tale of the clock in the quadrant. Go on. Once upon a time, there existed a Mordrin It was newly created, its logic fresh and untested. It had come to Sigil, following the commands of its Mondran superior. Go on. It knew of nothing but commands and dedicates it of obedience in passing along the orders of its superiors. For you see, Monarch are only aware of the commands of their immediate superiors. They have no grasp of a higher authority until this one. Go on. One day, it came upon a small shop within which there was a small clock that could no longer tell time. It was cracked along the edges of the wheels of its hands broken. The wheels of its hands broken. The Modern immediately set itself to work at getting the parts to fix the broken clock. Go on. It made a new wooden housing for the clock's parts, replaced the bent springs carefully, filed and oiled the clockwork machinery, and carved new hands from the sparse metal available to it. The newly repaired clock's precise ticking reminded it of the great gears of Mechanus, and it confronted as much as anything may confront a modern. Go on. And what the modern never came to understand was that it truly loved this clock that it had worked on, and for reasons it could not explain, elected to remain in Sigil and be with the clock for the rest of its years. I have another tale to share with you. Rework's curse. Yves leans into the tale of Rework's old furious curse. She seems to devour every word. As you finish, she smiles. I shall remember this tale, and now I have one for you. The gilded tale. Upon the plain of Ysgarend is the gilded hall, where those sensates that seek the pleasure of gullet and loin can be found. They indulge these passions in earnest, never realizing that the doors of the hall never open, and that there is no clear path back to the civic fest hall. They are the unwanted sensates, the ones that do not truly believe in the faction, but instead seek only pleasure for pleasure's sake. Prisoners who do not realize they are such truly prisoners. I'll leave dangerous angles. Yves leans to vary your every word as you finish. I shall remember this tale, and now I have one for you. The lady's suitor. Go on. The tale concerns a suitor of the Lady of Pain, one of many over the years. He was a young man who was obsessed with the mistress of Sigil. He saw her everywhere, in every corner of her city. He would hear the rustling of her robes, the scrapes of her blades, and grew infatuated beyond all reasoning. He hoped that if he worshipped her, that he would at last be able to see her, and so worship he did. Go on. He was found dead on the blood-soaked steps of his own home, grievous stab wounds covering the whole of his body. But his eyes were open wide. Upon his lips was a triumphant smile. Fraud. Yves leans in with the story. Fraud. I shall remember this tale. Now, I have one for you. Once came a man who had experienced the most beautiful thing in the multiverse. It was his intention to place the experience within one of the civic halls, sensory stones, magical devices which held feelings and memories for eternity, leaving them for others to partake of. Go on. But he thought about it, and wouldn't its being shared dilute the experience? So he held it to himself, precious thing that it was, and aged with the memory. But as he aged, the memory became tarnished and beaten, and he could no longer recall the glory of the experience. Ignis? I shall remember this tale, and I have one for you. The executioner. And go on. Once a murderer roamed Sigil streets. A black-hearted man by the name of Kesai-Serris. He had been blessed by his abyssal mother, so that no one could strike him with an intent to harm, or they themselves would die. He revealed in his blessing, using it to start fights and murder anyone who crossed his path. During one of his murderous rages, he was captured by the Harmonium with nets and brought before the governors. The trial was short, final, yet Kesai laughed at the proceedings, knowing that no one among them could harm him without dying horribly. At the final day of his trial, he was proclaimed guilty and sentenced to death. Kesai's sentence proclaimed by the governors was this: confinement for thrice 30 days, during which time you shall give up your life, be declared dead, and your body removed when all signs of life cease. Cursed laughter and laughed and dared any of them to try and harm him, yet the court was silent. Go on. The mercy killers lead Shurex to their prison. Now, the mercy killers lead Kesai to their prison and locked him in a dark, empty cell. There was no cot, no lights, and the only door was a steel grate in the ceiling. As they lowered him into the cell, the mercy killers told him, "In the corner of your cell will you find a chalice. It holds poison. Your death will be swift." "Aren't you going to execute me?" Marissa snarled at the god. "No one in Sigil shall lay a hand on you with intent to harm," came the mercy killer's reply. Then I spat on your cowardice. Marissa laughed, feeling for the cause in the darkness, then hurling it at the wall, shattering it. Its poison dripped from the walls and dried until it was no more. "Come on, then. You will have to try and kill me now." But there was no response from the grate in the ceiling. It was then that Kesai noticed the cell had no cot, no lights, and no food and water. All that remains was the shattered chalice, the poison gone, and for that first time, Kesai knew the icy touch of death's approach. In twice 30 days, the grate opened, and Kesai, now cold, was taken from the cell. It had given up its life. The execution had been carried out. As one of your companions, if they have a story to tell. Morte, do you have a story to trade? Me? Why do I have to tell a story? Forget it then. Just tell a story, Morte. Fine. An elderly man was sitting alone on a dark path, right? He wasn't certain of which direction to go, and he'd forgotten both where he was traveling to and who he was. He'd sat down for a moment to rest his weary legs, and suddenly looked up to see an elderly woman before him. She grinned toothlessly, and with a cackle spoke. "Now, ya third wish, what will it be?" Go on, Morty. Third wish? The man was baffled. "How can it be a third wish if I haven't had the first or second?" Go on, Morty. "You've had 2 wishes already," the hag said, "but your second wish was for me to return everything to the way it was before you had made your first wish. That's why you remember nothing, because everything is the way it was before you made any wish." She cackled at the poor Burke. "So it is that you have 1 wish left." I wonder if Morty, that's Morty's, or something connected to our past. Go on, Morty. "All right," said the man. "I don't believe this, but there's no harm in wishing. I wish to know who I am." "Funny," said the old woman as she granted his wish and disappeared forever. "That was your first wish." Dang. That sounds like it might be in my past. An interesting tale, Morte, and now I've one for you and your companions. The Fiend's Game. Go on. A fiend sometimes wandered the wilderness of a certain prime world in the guise of a friendly old man. One day he came upon some hunters in the woods. "What are you doing?" the fiend asked. The hunters told him, and the fiend nodded. "I have never been on a hunt before." The hunters invited the old man to come along, and the group eventually came upon a glade where several deer were grazing. The hunters carried crossbows and did not fire. The fiend asked them why. Go on. "They are unarmed," the hunters chuckled, pattering their crossbows. "We hunt nothing that does not have the ability to defend itself. After all, where is the sport in that?" The fiend nodded at this, promptly gated in 3 of his fellows. The hunters had led them on the merry chase, but eventually they were caught and eaten. Oh, okay. The fiend had summoned and some of his... Okay. And... Okay. Let's see. Anna? I make no good at telling such things. I'm not. She frowns, waves her hands as if trying to shoo away the idea. "Don't he be asking me for some such nonsense now?" She smiles. "But I would very much like to hear your story." "Just tell the story already, Anna. Please share your story. I have another tale to share with you, Yves." "Come on already, Svenling. You already have 1 tale you won't part with." Anna looks uncomfortable, her tail lashing slowly back and forth. "Well, I know 1 story." She suddenly becomes angry, glaring at Yves. "But ye might not like it. You won't, so don't be blaming me for ye choking it out of me. Go ahead, Anna." Anna scrawls, then finally relents with a a sigh. "I heard a story when I was a wee lass. This Burke's walking home real late, near Empty Peak, and passes an old toothless crone in a dark and otherwise empty street. 'Where ye gonna, son?' she asks him. 'Home to my wife in Kip,' he says. 'Near the Slags?' she asks him. Sure enough, he says. She asks him a favor. To take a bulk she's got to Ditter's pit and give it to the one woman there. Now that Burke's a real sap, too nice to say no, despite the fact that he's sure something's not quite right about this old crone. And agrees. But what's the woman's name? He asks. Where does she live? Where should I look for her if she's not by Debtor's pit? The woman hands him the box, a wooden thing, and wraps it in colored cloth. Tell him to just go and she'll be there. Finally, she warns him. And whatever you do not open the box. She takes him. He takes it home with him and hides it in the raffles, thinking he'll bring it by Debtor's pit when it's light out. His wife, though, seeing him hide in the box, gets right jealous, thinking it's a gift for a lover or something. It opens it up as soon as he's not looking. Well, turns out the box was full of gouged out eyes and severed male members with the hair still on him. Her scream brought the Burke running. He remembered what the crone said, got right it scared, and wrapped the box back up. He went out straight away to Debtor's pit, and sure enough, there was another old hag waiting there for him. He hands her the box, and she says to him, "This box has been opened and looked into." Oh. The poor Burke tries to deny it, but she gets hit this dreadful look on her face. "You've done something horrible," she tells him, and then disappears. That done, he hurries back to his kip. He's feeling ill when he gets back and takes to bed. His wife bitterly regrets opening the box, and all but it was too late. The next day he died of rotting disease, and the first thing to go was his eyes, and Stim kind of nods grimly, her tale complete. Yves smiles. "That was a wonderful tale, Anna. You should never hesitate to share it. Now, I've one for you and your companions. The Perched Lad. Once a large village was struck by a terrible drought. A farmer journeyed to the worshipping stone and again implored it as to cause the drought. He asked the stone why it did nothing when the fields were parched and dying. What? Implored it as to the cause of the drought. Oh, why the animals and the people suffer while the stone did not a thing. Have we not given enough offerings? The farmer asked, begging almost upon his hands and knees, but the stone did not respond. It merely sat and cast its shadow. Okay. Okay. Well, he might not be. Duncan nods solemnly. I shall impart the tale of Archie's drowning. Duncan tells the story of Archie, a foolish Zaria of myth who had become lost in the chaos of limbo. Normally, a single Zari may use their focus and mental discipline to form the chaos around them into a small, habitable environment. Archie, however, has so many useless and unfocused questions in her quest to return home that her isle of matter dissolved around her and she drowned. His smile, fascinating, Dakun. Let me share with you and your companions another version of your tale that I have heard. Duncan looks attentive, perhaps a little surprised. Go on. Yves goes on to tell a different version of Duncan's tale, in which Yegi was driven from the Kesai-Serris city of Dolora for her constant useless prattling. One day, she encountered a Saladi of his on his way to the spawning stone. She hesitantly erected a wall of chaos matter, which even the ravenous Saladi found difficult to break down. Hungrily, it waited and spoke to her through the wall. She asked it questions. As she became more absorbed in her pointless queries, the Suller's answers, her own wall decayed and collapsed upon her. Thus, she drowned in the matter of limbo. I don't think I do. That's opinion. Okay. Why are you called the Tale-Chaser? Once upon a time, a girl came to an oracle who was rumored to know many things and asked of it a boon. Her life was in need of direction, so she asked this oracle as to what would give her purpose. Go. Now, the oracle was not evil, but it was vague and intended towards drinks, which caused it to be obscure in many matters of judgment and focus. It only answer to the girl's question was that within one story that she would hear in her lifetime was the truth that she sought. The girl went off and collected stories, which she chased to this day, not knowing which of the thousands hold the truth. Such is a danger of a foolish question, and the wisdom of an unspoken one. What are you doing here? What can you tell me about this place? May we trade tales? Can you tell me what of the stories you've already shared again? What can you tell me about the silent prostitute? I'm trying to find villages. Do you know? Show more. Okay. There we go. Ecco, young Franz thingy. I once heard a tale of a girl who knew the word that, if spoken, would undo the multiverse. Perhaps this is Ecco. Ask Darla, though. I understand that she sometimes meets with one who knew Ecco before she stopped. The one Darla Merriman is the one that knows Ecco. Yeah. I could be wrong, but it seems like missed opportunity there, if not.
Updated my journal.
Yes. Yves shakes her head. Speak with Nettie. She is forever pacing about observing everything intently. Then we already ask her. Your chaser. But Mirza is an interesting tale. Would you like to hear it? Yes, go ahead. Once upon a time, in a world of heroes and a tale of petty childish gods, there were 3 sisters cursed with a hideous appearance. They were considered demons by the people of the land and forever shunned. One missed her sisters terribly, yet left that world with its shame behind, but exchanged the pettiness of a pantheon for the pettiness of self. The tale of Ravel Puzzlewell, frightener of children, begins and ends with a question. What can change the nature of a man? Go on. Many were the times she posed this riddle to those who approached her, those who sought to glean from her the strange magics that she alone seemed to possess. All attempted to answer her query, but to no avail. And they found the price of their wrong answers to be some horrible fate, always more terrible than the last victims. To recount their various torments would be to speak of things that nightmares are woven from. The tale strikes me in this way. Ravel herself knew not the answer to this question, but she lusted for such an answer. Only the why of the matter remained in question. Why did the nature of a woman, of a man, matter to one of the Grey sisters, especially to one of such power as Ravel? It is said that she put the question to the Lady of Pain, not directly, but shouted it to Sigil itself, daring the lady to answer. When no reply was forthcoming, she wove terrible magics that threatened to open the cage and let the fury of the plains roll in like a wave. She received no answer other than banishment to this day. No one knows the answer to Ravel's question. And now there is no one to petition, for Ravel herself is gone, lost to the plains.
Updated my journal.
Wait, there is more. Though the tale ends with Ravel's demise, there are some that claim that hag still lives. There is a silent prostitute here who once talked of such thing, but she speaks no longer. If she would speak to you, she might tell you more of Ravel. What else can you tell me about the silent? Okay. That's good to know. Here, I think that was kind of obvious. I collect tales, trade them with others who've tales of their own. Okay. That is a part of Mistress Grace's story, which is not mine to tell. She said that when she nears the end of her years, she shall tell me, and only if I pledge never to share it with another. She hopes that she will never need to tell me her tale, for she hopes I will find my own story before that time and leave this place. I think she fears my life will be squandered in searching for this tale, and not acting upon what I already know. Yves sighs softly, but it cannot be helped. Your own story? Once upon a time, a girl came to... Yeah, okay. And... Okay. Well, I think we just got her, and then I don't think there's another one. Hang on. It's whatever in there. And I guess it's all their quests. The alarming bolt. I probably should actually speak to her next time. Has a thick mane of wave, raven-colored hair, bullish skin, and skimming crimson eyes, like rubies, which have fires lit behind them. Though she is not beautiful in the typical sense of the word, her features are exotic and not altogether unattractive. Greetings. The woman's voice is deep and sincere. And my greetings to you, sir. Her burning eyes roam over you. I'm Kesai-Serris. So tell me, what might I do for you? Anything, Morte, he cries out. Do anything you want to me. Kishi laughs heartedly, revealing canines long enough to be considered fangs. She shakes her head and smiles at Morte. Truly, though, please, what can I do for you? Well, what do you usually do for patrons? Talk, of course, usually about dreams, often those erotic in nature, but not always. Kishi winks at you, smiling. So, would you like to tell me yours? Don't be shy, I've heard everything. You know, nothing will shock or surprise me. I do so love to hear people's dreams. We could trade if you'd like to, but you must go first. My dreams were recently revised when I saw you, my lady. I don't have dreams, actually. No, I'd rather not. I like to talk, but... Maybe sleep would help. Get a dream? We'll try that one. Where are they now? She smiles, her gleaming red eyes looking you over once more. You look very savage. You know, tell me, are you rough with your lovers? In the act, I mean? Very physical? Watch us be able to get another Morty thing with this. Do you mean abusive? Why would you ask a thing like such a thing? No, I'm quite gentle, actually. Yes, I suppose I am. Only if it pleases them. It depends on the mood I'm in, really. I don't know, really. That's probably a better answer. Many heavens forbid, no. Kesai-Serris high. Some people have a very slow and sensational way of doing things, while others are more forward about it. All rough and tumble and rolling about, you know, and I merely wondered where you fell in all this, is all. And why would you, Kid pouts for a moment, then shrugs. If you're uncomfortable speaking of it, that's all right. I will say, though, that you shouldn't have any such reservation with a lover. These things are important to discuss, especially before the act, you know. It'll be best for the both of you. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. I think you best mind your own. She simply smiles and responds, Hey, you never did tell me about your dreams. You know. Come on, let's have it. I don't have dreams, actually. I'd rather not talk about it. I like to tell you, but I'm a little too... No. She arches her eyebrows in surprise. Truly? How sad. Even fiends and divas dream. You know, are you certain you don't? Quite certain. No dreams at all. Too particular. I'm at a loss as to what to say. Well, I have some other questions. If you don't mind... And blinks in crimson eyes, waiting for your questions. If you don't mind me asking, what are you? What are you doing here? Can you tell me about this place? What can you tell me about the silent prostitute? I'm trying to find Vivian's... Do you know anything? Do you know anything? I've spoken to 9 prostitutes altogether. Do you know who or where the 10th student is? That's a really good question. Probably in that chamber. Kishi shakes her head. What can't you tell? She draws herself up, thrusting her ample bosom towards you. A woman. She raises an eyebrow. I can see my answer doesn't please you. I'm plain touched, actually. Like your friend here, Kishi indicates. Anna. That's all you need to know. Another question? Okay. What are you doing here? Entertaining your questions, it seems, she winks at you. Really, though, I'm a student of Mistress Grace's. All the prostitutes in the brothel are. A student? That's right. The brothel is actually a school for women who are thinking of becoming sensates. Mistress Grace teaches us the ways of language so that we can better identify with ourselves and those around us. It lets us experience the planes more fully, you know? Tell me about the sensei Chi. Okay. Can you tell me about this place? Certainly, the Brothel Slaking Intellectual Lust is actually a school of women who are thinking of becoming sensei mistresses. Experience play. Okay, we just asked that, didn't we? We asked. Okay, those same answers. Yes, that's Ecco. She's very sweet, but so quiet. I understand she said something once which caused some great tragedy. It became of that. She'll never speak again. Kishi shrugs, smiling. An interesting enough story, but I don't know if it's true. Try asking Dolora. I've seen her talking to her ex-lover, of course, Ecco, back from a time when Ecco was speaking. Okay. No, I don't. Kishifro, most of the women will say she's prissy, but she's always been nice enough to me, complimenting me on my eyes. And she smells so good. Oh, she finds her old sit again soon. Try asking Nita about it. She's everywhere at once and might have seen something. You do have lovely eyes, you know. Ada sneers, rolling her eyes. Ignore Ada's comment. Just ignore her, Kishi. Ada, please. It's only a compliment. Ada stares at you coldly, but says nothing. Kishi shrugs, looks back at you. Why, thank you. You can see them glowing in the dark, you know. Bizarre, no? She pauses to look at you. You've some nice eyes, too. So dark and mysterious, so full of character. Thanks. Okay, I had another question. Okay.
Updated my journal.
No, I haven't seen it since the last time she wore it out, but Nina might have seen something, so try asking her. I'll admit it. It's been nice. Mir won't leave her chamber without the veil, and so we've all been spared her foul tongue, leaving us only Kimasxi to deal with. Kishi smirks. That Kibi's the worst of the two, though. How so? Mira's haughty and me, but Kimasxi, she's a bitter, spiteful monster of a woman, with venomous tongue in the demeanor of a Bela. I can't see why anyone would like to speak with her. Morte. I sincerely doubt her appearance makes up for that flaying, poisonous mouth of hers, but she receives patrons nonetheless. Yeah. Okay. No, nothing. Are you sure? You seem suddenly upset. She narrows her eyes, red eyes at you. Of course, I'm sure. Don't ask me of her again. Very well, I had another question. Didn't Kishi purses her lips, tapping her foot as she thinks? No, there's only 9 of us. There's always 9 prostitutes, unless Mistress Grace has made some recent changes I don't know about. Okay. I think I've asked all the questions needed. Oh, you're still here?
Well, you are in luck. On my post tab, I regularly have polls on what game I'll play next. Give it a look. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Primordius Gamer out.